everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. I'm a PN certified nutrition coach. I am certified in plant-based nutrition through eCornell, and I have been vegan for over a decade now. I talk a lot about protein on this channel, so if that is something you are interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. So today we're going to talk about getting enough protein in our diet. We're going to go over why it's important, how much is actually enough for us, and some ways that we can incorporate more into our diet, because we know that the world is not set up for us to succeed in that aspect. So what is protein and why is it so important? Protein is one of 3 macronutrients that our food is comprised of, the other 2 being carbs and fat. If you have counted macros before, you know this. Protein is made of amino acids, so you can kind of think of them like Legos. So basically our body will pull the amino acids apart and then rebuild new structures using them. The most common known one is muscle, but our body also will build enzymes, neurotransmitters, and hormones from protein. There are 9 essential amino acids that our bodies cannot make on their own and need to get from food sources. And yes, you can get all of these from plants. There's a pervasive myth that the only way you can get quality protein is through animal sources, because animal sources contain higher volumes of certain amino acids than plant-based protein. But studies have found that certain plant proteins like pea, rice, and soy isolates lead to comparable outcomes to whey protein isolate. I'm gonna put the PubMed ID here, and then I'm gonna link it below so that you can read it for yourself. So yes, plant-based protein is quality, and it's not inferior to animal-based protein. You just need to get enough. If you're into fitness or trying to improve your fitness, you probably have a goal to build muscle, and this obviously requires protein. The more muscle you have on your body, the higher your basal metabolic rate will be, which means your body is gonna burn more calories at rest. And this is super advantageous if you have ever struggled with your weight, like most of us have. Not only that, but protein has the highest thermic effect of food, which means you're gonna burn more calories digesting protein than you would either carbs or fat. So protein overall is super important for us to be strong and to maintain or lose weight if that's your goal, and obviously to build muscle. But what does enough protein even mean? So the RDA, or the recommended dietary allowance for protein, is about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So if you're a 130-pound woman, you're gonna be about 59 kilograms. So 0.8 times 59 is 47.2. Now, this is low. Like, this is the amount that you should be eating so that your muscle doesn't waste away. Just because you can get away with this amount of protein doesn't mean that it's enough for you to actually thrive, especially if you are an active individual with fitness goals. So if you're doing high intensity training relative to your fitness level, you should actually be getting 0.64 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your body weight. So again, if you're a 130-pound woman, you should be getting between 83 and 130 grams of protein. And beyond just building muscle, proteins, enzymes, etc., eating a higher amount of protein is going to contribute to your satiety during the day, which is going to make you less likely to snack on things like pretzels, chips, cookies, etc., more processed foods. And like I said in my How to Eat Less Processed Foods video, I think these things have their place, but I also think that we all snack on them more than we would really like to. So I'm gonna take a moment here and let you calculate this for yourself. So do 0.64 times your body weight. That's gonna be your floor for your protein intake, and then your body weight in pounds is gonna be your ceiling. The only exception here is if you're more overweight or obese, you're gonna wanna lower those numbers a little bit. And if you need help with that, you should reach out to a nutrition professional like myself or somebody that you trust. So now you have your ideal protein intake. Here's why you're probably not hitting that right now. In the Western world in 2023, we are living in food environments that are very carbohydrate and fat rich. And we are biologically predisposed to prefer these foods, so it's not your fault that you keep eating them. These foods are energy dense. So as we evolved over the past few thousands of years, those things kept us alive. And up until very recently, we just needed to focus on survival. In the past like 50-ish years, capitalism has come in and said, hey, these high fat and high carbohydrate foods are really cheap to produce and they keep people coming back for more. This is great for making money, but it's led to a lot of chronic disease and has put an insane burden on our healthcare system. And I don't think we should be okay with that. So that's the current state of the Western world, especially in the US, where the government puts less restrictions on our food system. Like, for example, we have high fructose corn syrup in like everything here, but in Europe it's non-existent. But here's why, specifically for vegans, why it's harder for us to get more protein than omnivores or even vegetarians. And the main reason is that our alternatives are usually not as protein dense as the animal product. Our yogurts have more fat than protein in them. Our cheeses definitely have more fat than protein in them. And some of our faux meat options, like jackfruit pulled pork and like mushroom meats, basically don't have protein in them. And on top of all that, we'll go out to a restaurant and they will think that hummus or peanut butter are appropriate protein options for us. They're not. So because of all these things, us vegans have to work a lot harder to get the protein that we need. So how do we do that? I'm gonna share some high protein foods that you'd probably want to include in your diet and some strategies to make sure that you are getting the optimal amount of protein that you need every day. First of all, I have the 3 T's. These are tempeh, tofu, and TVP. As long as you don't have a problem with soy, you can eat these every day. TVP has a whopping 24 grams of protein per serving. So I like to cook it like ground beef. I'll season it with chickenless seasoning like ground turkey or ground chicken. You can put it in your oatmeal and you can make TVP cookies. I made a shepherd's pie with it a few weeks ago and it was amazing. It's just dehydrated soy, so if you reconstitute it with water or some kind of liquid like tomato sauce, if you're going for a ground beef, then you are golden. I like always add it to my pasta sauce to make it like a meat sauce while it's simmering, because then it'll reconstitute. I love TVP because it is so versatile and cheap. It's like $5 or $6 for a pound and it's literally just soy. There's no added like sugar or anything in it. Tempeh is also great. It has 12 grams of protein per serving. You might have seen tempeh bacon before. You can just get a block of tempeh and sear it. You can pan fry it. You can air fry it, you can bake it. It's also really versatile. It's a little bit higher in fat, but it's very minimally processed. It's fermented soybeans. Oh, I like it in stir fries too. And tofu, you're probably familiar with. It has anywhere between like 8 to 10 grams of protein per serving. You can make a tofu scramble, you can air fry it, you can bake it, you can make tofu nuggets, you can get silken tofu and make it like a chocolate mousse type of thing. You can use silken tofu to make a mayonnaise alternative. There are so many options for tofu. The great thing is you can find it pretty much anywhere you are in America. Like if you live in the middle of nowhere, like where I grew up, then you can just find it at Walmart. Seitan is also a fantastic source of protein. It has around 18 grams per 100 calories and the macros are super similar to chicken. So you can just sub it for whatever chicken recipe you have. You can eat it right out of the package like I've done on multiple road trips. You can use it in tacos. You can make a chicken Caesar salad with it. You can make a chicken cheesesteak out of it. I live in Philly, so that is popular here for the vegan people. Oh, and I have to plug Upton's Naturals here because they are a vegan-owned seitan company and they make incredible products. So if you have the option to buy them, you definitely should. Nutritional yeast is like an unsung hero in the vegan protein world. It has 6 grams of protein per like 40 calories and you can put that shit in everything. I like to add it to my Caesar salads. I like to add it to my pasta sauce when it's cooking. You can put in a stir fry with some coconut aminos. It's a very savory, sweet flavor then. You can make different types of cheeses with it, like a potato carrot based cheese. You can add it to like any soup, any chili. Like, I literally have not found a way that it tastes bad. And it's relatively cheap too. It's like $12 or $13 a pound, but you get a lot for that. Oh, and it's so complimentary to any barbecue sauce or like smoky sweet flavorings. If you have like a barbecue jackfruit sandwich, add some nutritional yeast to it to actually get you some protein, because jackfruit does not have protein. Lentils and lupini beans are two beans / pulses that are very high in protein. So per 120 calories, lentils have about 10 or 11 grams of protein, and lupini beans actually have 15 grams of protein for that same volume. There is a brand of lupini snacking beans that you can buy. You can add both of these to salads. You can make like a meatloaf type of thing out of lentils, which I love to do around the holiday season. And you can use red lentils to make a curry, and they're both relatively cheap as well. You can find lentils like anywhere. Bean-based protein pastas like Banza are also a great option for protein. They have about 11 grams of protein per serving, so they're a great swap for regular pasta. Plus, if you're making a pasta sauce with TVP and nutritional yeast, you have a very, very protein dense meal. I would be negligent if I didn't mention that I also like to supplement protein with like powders and bars, because number one, it's super convenient, and number two, I actually like the taste. So I have my own protein balls that I make and sell using unflavored pea protein, and I like using that same pea protein in things when I need a little bit of a protein boost, like I put it in my oatmeal. And I have several what I eat in a day videos where you can see how I use this protein. I eat it like every day, and pea protein has all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot make on its own. So pea protein is incredible and is relatively cheap too. So now you kind of have a short list of all these high protein foods that you can use to meet your goals. There are more. If you have any questions, just let me know below. You can also refer to my what I eat in a day videos if you're looking for more. So how do we make sure that we are hitting our protein goal for the day? How do we strategize this? The easiest thing to do is to take the number that we calculated before and divide it by however many times you like to eat in a day. So if you have, regular breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just divide it by 3. And that's what you're gonna aim for at each meal. So let's take the 130-pound woman example and say she eats 3 meals a day. Let's say she wants to get around 120 grams of protein, a little bit less than her weight. She's gonna aim for 40 grams of protein per meal. For breakfast, she can use a combination of oats, which already have like 5 grams of protein per serving. She can add some protein powder to it. She can add a little bit of TVP to it. I do that with my oatmeal. She can add some peanut butter powder and maybe some seeds like chia or flax seeds. Both of those have omega-3s, healthy fats in them, and she can hit that goal without really stressing. Then for lunch, 40 grams of protein again. She can have some seitan or tempeh bacon on a sandwich with 2 pieces of Ezekiel bread that are already at 10 grams of protein for 2 of those slices. And of course, add some vegetables in there. We want some dark leafy greens on that sandwich if we can. And then for dinner, she can have like a Banza protein pasta, add some TVP and nutritional yeast to her sauce, and that is easily 40 grams of protein. So by the end of the day, she's hit her protein goal. She's good to go. She's not overshooting carbs or fats either. And if she still has some room to go, add a protein shake morning or afternoon, or even after dinner if you want. So for tracking, you can use an app like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. I use MyFitnessPal, but I only pay attention to tracking protein and just kind of let carbs and fats fall wherever they may. And I use it to track my water too, that's important. But if seeing the total number of calories trips you up, then I would just honestly track using pen and paper your protein for the day, because then you don't see your total calorie estimate. Another great tool is using hand-sized portions, and this is something that I use with my clients right now. Hand-sized portions are amazing because they are proportional to the person. So if you are a small lady, you're gonna have a smaller hand than a larger lady or man. I really don't want to bring in gender stereotypes to this, this. But if you're a larger person, you're gonna require more protein. You'll have a bigger hand and vice versa. A palm usually is like 20 to 30 grams of protein. So if our example lady is gonna just use her palm, then she's gonna want around 6 palms of protein during her day, and just tally it up. So by now, hopefully you understand why protein's important, how much you actually need, and how you can hit your goal. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're interested in being coached by me, you can hit the link in the description to get to my Calendly. We can chat for a little bit, no pressure. But yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.